The Alduin, Akatosh, Dichotomy, Book 7 of 2920, The Last Year of the First Era, by Alexander Simon, High Priest of the Akatosh Chantry Wayrest. As High Priest of the Akatosh Chantry, I have dedicated my life to the service of the Great Dragon. He who was first at the beginning, he who is the greatest and most powerful of all divines, he who is the very embodiment of infinity. I am quite obviously a man of deep and unwavering faith, but not blind faith, for I am also a man of scholarly endeavors, and I have valued education and the pursuit of truth in all of its forms, and so I have had the honor and privilege of making it my life's work to discover the truth about Akatosh and all our beloved divine's incarnations. Throughout the civilized world, and I refer not only to the Empire, but that of every nation on the Great Nirn that has embraced the virtues of learning and letters, the Great Dragon is worshipped. Usually the highest of divines is referred to as Akatosh, but what some may not be aware of is that he is occasionally referred to by two other names as well. The Aldmer refer to Akatosh as Oriel. The Nords call him Alduin. These names come up repeatedly in certain ancient texts, and each one, it is clear that the deity in question is none other than he whom we call Akatosh. Yet there are those who believe, even in this enlightened age, that this is not so, that the regional interpretations of Akatosh are not interpretations of Akatosh at all. Rather, they are references to altogether different deities, deities who may or may not share the same aspects or be the great dragon at all. Many Altmer in the Somerset Isle worship Auriel, who is the soul of Anuel, who is the soul of Anu, the everything. But if you ask the High Elves themselves, as I did when I traveled to Somerset Isle to continue my research, the majority will concede that Auriel is but Akatosh, but with a different name, colored by their own cultural beliefs. So maybe it comes as no surprise that the real theological dissension lies in Skyrim, among the Nord people, renowned as much for their stubbornness as they are their hardiness and prowess in the fields of valor. When I journeyed to the stark white province, I was surprised to find a people whose views on Akatosh are almost diametrically opposed to those of the Altmer. The majority of the Nord people seem to believe that their Alduin of legend is not Akatosh, but another deity entirely, a great dragon. Yes, but not the great dragon. Determined to get to the heart of the matter, I consulted with several Nords, chief among them, an old and respected clan chief by the name of Bjorn Much, Bloodied. And what surprised me about those I talked to was not that they believed in Alduin instead of Akatosh, but that they recognized Alduin in addition to Akatosh. In fact, most children of Skyrim seem to view Akatosh in much the same way I do. He is, in fact, the great dragon, first among the divines, perseverance personified, and more than anything, a force of supreme good in the world. Alduin, they claim, is something altogether different. Whether or not he is actually a deity remains in question, but Alduin of Nord folklore is in fact a dragon, but one so ancient and so powerful he was dubbed World Eater, and some accounts even have him devouring the souls of the dead to maintain his own power. Other stories revolve around Alduin acting as some sort of dragon king, uniting the other dragons in a war against mankind, until he was eventually defeated at the hands of one or more brave heroes. It is hard to deny that such legends are compelling, but as both high priest and scholar I am forced to ask the most important question: where is the evidence? The Nords of Skyrim place a high value on their oral traditions, but such is the core of their unreliability. A rumor passed around the Wayrest market square can change so dramatically in the course of a few simple hours that by the end of the day one might believe half the city's residents were involved in any number of scandalous activities. How then is an educated, enlightened person possibly supposed to believe a legend that has been passed down by word of mouth only for hundreds or even thousands of years? The answer to such a question is simple: he cannot. And so it is my conclusion that the Alduin of Nord legend is in fact mighty Akatosh, whose story grew twisted and deformed through the centuries of retelling and embellishment. Through no real fault of their own, the primitive peoples of Skyrim failed to understand the goodness and greatness of the great dragon. It was this lack of understanding that formed the basis of what became, ironically, their most impressive creative achievement, Alduin, the world eater, phantom of bedtime stories, and justification for ancient if imagined deeds.